In this video, I'm reviewing the Bodega T60 12-volt refrigerator. I purchased the fridge about 7 months ago and have been using it extensively so I can give you a real-world review to let you know if the fridge is a deal or a dud. I did an unboxing and covered the general operation of the refrigerator in a previous video. So after you've watched all of this one, check that one out. I'll leave a link in the description. I decided to give the Bodega T60 a try because it's a third of the price of the high-end 12-volt refrigerators. The fridge comes with a 1-year warranty, but if you fill out the registration card, it extends it for another year, and I might need that. I was really curious about the durability of the fridge, so I set it up in my kitchen and had it going 24/7 all through the summer, keeping beers cold, and took it on several camping trips and local day trips. It worked well in the kitchen. The compressor was a little on the loud side though. Having the 12-volt fridge ended up being a lifesaver. During the summer, the full-size fridge died, and I had about 3 days there where I didn't have a full-size refrigerator, so I was able to keep essentials in there to hold me over until the full-size one came, so it ended up working really well. The fridge has 2 zones, one side for a freezer and one side for a refrigerator, but I've just been using the whole unit as a refrigerator. The fridge does have its limits though. During the summer, there was a family cookout and I was responsible for bringing the drinks. So the fridge is already cool. I was like, okay, let's get the drinks in there. Loaded it up, soda, water, beer, put it in the back of the vehicle, plugged the 12-volt in so it was staying cool the whole drive down there. I get to my parents' house and put the freezer up and all the drinks are still room temperature. The fridge was working perfectly fine, but that was just too many room temperature drinks for it to cool it down in the amount of time it had. One of the top rules of a summer cookout is to have cold drinks, and I failed on that, and the reaction was not good. I was getting looks like, what are you, too good to buy a 20-pound bag of ice so that we can have some cold drinks? And I had a similar issue with not being able to cool down fast enough. I was getting ready to go out camping, made a pot of chili to have for the first night out there, cooked up the chili, put it in the container, put it into the 12-volt refrigerator, and got on the road. And by the time we got set up in the camp, all good to go for the night, and wanted to cook up that chili, and it was still not as cool as I would have liked it to be considering how long it was in the fridge, because you really want your food cooling down as quickly as possible just for safety reasons, but it was still on the warm side and it had been several hours. The fridge works best on something that's already cool that you want to keep it that way. It's better to put the food in your full-size fridge to let it cool down. Then you put it in the 12-volt fridge and it will maintain that nice cool temperature, or just give yourself like a lot of time if you're trying to really load that thing up with a ton of things that are room temperature or food that may be on the warmer side. So it did well in the kitchen. If this review is helpful so far, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss my next video. Now, we all want to know, how is it when you actually get out there on the trails or out there camping? So I put mine in the back of the Gladiator as a 5-foot bed, and I ran power back there to plug in the 12-volt socket. When I did my first video, there was comments like, well, it's on the taller side, which is true, and it is a little over 21 inches tall, which is higher than the truck bed, which is 18 inches deep, so it's sticking out of the top. When the back is fully loaded up with camping gear, that's no issue because you're not using any kind of tonneau cover or anything like that, and so that hasn't been a problem. But once you unload all your gear and you just have the fridge back there because you're powering it with the vehicle, it would be nice to be able to pull the cover over to protect it from the elements. If there's people that are walking by, they don't see it, and it just kind of sticks up there. So that is a downside with that size that I went with. But they also sell a 50-liter version, and that one is 18 inches tall, and the truck bed is 18 inches. At 18 inches, you can protect the 50-liter using a tonneau cover, and I probably should have just bought the 50-liter size. I wanted to go bigger, and 50 would have been enough for all the food that I need, and I would have been able to use the tonneau cover. I got the fridge from Amazon. If you're interested, there's an affiliate link in the description. If you click on that link and check it out, it helps support the channel. Now for some other issues I've had with the fridge. The touchscreen is really sensitive. There's times where I'm digging through the back of the truck trying to get something and my arm accidentally grazes it, and next thing you know, I've accidentally turned it off, or I turn the temperature way down or way up. The app is nice. It monitors some basic functions of the refrigerator, tells you the temperature and allows you to adjust it. So when it's in the back of the bed, covered in all kind of gear, you can still see and adjust the temperature, so that way you're not surprised when you get to your campsite and find that you have really warm potato salad. Nobody wants that. The fridge also monitors the car battery and will shut down and send an error code if the voltage is getting too low, so that way you don't wake up to a dead battery. I actually received that error code on one trip. I have a solar panel on the hood of my Gladiator to help manage the battery, to run the fridge and a diesel heater and small electronics. But during that trip, it got really muddy and dirty, so the solar panel wasn't working effectively. And by 2-3 days in, it was just taking too much power out of the battery, and it was giving me error codes and shutting off. So I ultimately just had to unplug it, so that way it wasn't draining the battery too low, which is nice to know you won't potentially be stranded out there. A lot of times when you purchase something that's on the affordable side, you're kind of sacrificing durability. So I wanted to see what it could handle. So every single trip, ratchet strapped it in the back and hit all the trails in Moab and Uray and just see what it could do. As long as it was secured and not moving around all that much, there was no problems at all. In fact, there was a trip where I was driving down I-70 back into Denver, and right around Glenwood Springs, it started to rain, and it rained the entire time from Glenwood Springs into Denver, which is around 3 hours. But then there's traffic at the tunnel, so you add another hour on for that. So it was 4 hours of just constant rain and it getting wet in the back of the bed. And when I got home, I wasn't sure if it was going to work, but it was perfectly fine. I was really surprised by that. I'm sure the manufacturer doesn't recommend leaving it out in the rain like that, but it still works on the trail, in the rain. So, what more can I ask for at a third of the price? So based on the last 7 months, I have to say that the Bodega 12-volt fridge is a deal. To see more about the operation of the fridge, click this end screen now.